In 1982, the eccentric pair, James and Elaine Walsh, opened Afflecks, a home to over 60 quirky independent vendors.
I'm neurodivergent and I also have a mental disorder, which I'm very open about with all my customers. So it's really hard for me to do forward-facing work, but it's also at the same time really helpful towards me. And a lot of the people who come in here feel comfortable coming in Afflecks. So I'll take it from the perspective of them. I've always felt comfortable wanting to have a shop here, so it must have had some sort of like, I've gravitated towards it. It must have had something that made me feel that way. And then a lot of the traders are also neurodivergent and very creative, and I think it makes us all feel like one big family of people who maybe don't fit in, not necessarily in society, but they just feel like they fit better with this kind of environment than they would in a normal job.
When it first opened, it was a lot of very, very tiny units. Kim's been here since the beginning. He's the only one who's been here from the off. I believe he started off selling second hand, but in a very small unit in the corner, and gradually he's taken over more space, but always in this part of the building, wanting to just establish a good vintage second hand business.
So we started 7 years ago on Piccadilly Street Food Market. We did that for quite a while, did well. We had the opportunity to come to Afflecks, and we did. That was been open for 2 months there. My dad's been cooking, the chefing for about 25 years or so. And he got me in when I was 14, and that was quite an experience. It was very fun.
I was born in Manchester, and in my early 20s I used to work here. I ended up back here because I actually broke my foot and I couldn't do the job I was doing anymore. Yeah, definitely feels at home here.
If you go to a chain, it didn't matter where you are, you could even be in Madrid and you walk into Uniqlo and it's exactly the same formula. They're very efficient, but they're very formulaic. They've not really got much personality. So of course, if you've got independent traders, they'll put their own personality onto a business, and also I think you get more individual service.
I think everything's more personal than the business side. It is more difficult because everyone has more bigger funds behind them. So if everything goes wrong, it's straight from us. But yeah, I quite like it. It's difficult to keep up with everyone else. Because originally when we did burgers, you can get a burger anywhere. So the biggest thing is about trying to stand out and be different to everyone else. And with nowadays, trying to be different is quite difficult.
I just think it's a real challenge. It means a lot if people come and support me and support small businesses. I think it's really important for the country that everyone sort of goes back to shopping independent. I know it's hard because of affordability, but I just think it's really important to get the country sort of understanding that makers, especially because I'm an artist, makers kind of make things tick, and things don't have to be made in a sweatshop and things don't have to be cheap. It's just puts a value on things when it's handmade.
In 2025, 250 independent retailers answered a survey, with 50% of them stating that they had considered closing their business. Afflecks' business model aims to assist in keeping its traders open.
I think they're getting a bit more flexible about how they're handling new people coming in. At one time it was very much they wanted a certain dynamic, so I don't know if in that respect it's sort of losing sight of what it's set up to be. But then again, you've got people. There's no lease, so you can come in and trade for 3 weeks, and if it doesn't work out, you can leave. So it does offer flexibility. And it has gone through a lot of different sort of incarnations, and it was there were times when it was under threat of closure, because it was more lucrative to sell the building and convert it into flats or whatever.
40 years later, Afflecks remains the biggest independent shopping emporium in Manchester, a place where misfits fit.